and thank you for joining us virtually at the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center. We're a wildlife sanctuary dedicated to preserving Alaska's wildlife through conservation, education, research, and quality animal care. My name is Natalie. I'm the Naturalist Education Specialist here at AWCC, and I'm going to be joined by two of my co-workers today as we get ready to throw some enrichment to our wolf pack. We have 4 wolves here at AWCC, and as you watch us throw this enrichment to the wolf pack, please feel free to comment any questions or things you would like to know down in the comment section here, and we are happy to answer all of those comments. We are located in Portage, Alaska, and today it's quite a rainy and windy day, so if we have any kind of visual problems, please excuse that, but we'd love to hear where you are tuning in from and what your weather is like. It's about 37 degrees today. So before we get started with throwing this enrichment, I'd like for Angelica, our Assistant Curator, to kind of introduce the enrichment we're going to be giving to our wolves and explain a little bit behind that. Angelica?
Hi, I'm Angelica, the Assistant Curator, and actually and my assistant here is our fellow Ash, and I need you to crack this egg, so can you pop it in the middle? Whoa! Let's see what we got for these wolves here. What did the Easter Bunny provide to these guys a day early? We've got a little bit of rabbit pelt with part of their diet rolled up in it. So let's see what we're hoping for these wolves to do. What do you think they'll do with them when they get it?
I think they'll roll on it.
Okay, we got a roll. What do you think? I think they'll have a chew on it. A chew. All right, I'm kind of hoping that some of them will pick it up by this little tail and run around with it and maybe pull it. So this is we're trying to manufacture when they get whole prey out in the wild, they have to pull that pelt off of their food in order to get to the meat and the bones underneath. So I'm gonna have you take 2. Yeah, take your choice.
Whoa, I got a big one.
Cool. Nice, yeah you do. I'll have you take that. Would you like to take 2? Sweet. I will take the rest. So we have 2 for each of our girls, Deshka and Bree, and we have 2 for each of our boys, Lothario and Dirus. So what we need to do in order to help reinforce this family group's hierarchy, Lothario right there is our most dominant wolf, and then Dirus kind of helps support the rules that Lothario creates, as does our female Deshka right over there near Dirus. And then Bree is kind of the last lady on the hierarchy, so we'll get to see how she interacts with this enrichment. So I'll have you stand there, and if you don't mind standing right about here, and then I'll count 2, 3, and then on 3 we throw, all right? So you'll see these wolves are pretty used to this. So Dirus and Lothario should follow me over here, and then Deshka and Bree should remain over on this side. All right, well, ready? 1, 2, 3. That's Bree. No. Yep, no, you were right. Okay. And Bree's starting to pull it apart. Yeah. And her nose is all wet, so I'm like, oh, that's darker. Nice.
So you'll notice really well as the wolves are eating that these wolves have a specific type of teeth structure for eating meat. They are carnivores. We've seen a lot of different animals doing these Facebook Lives, and these carnivores carnivores only have really sharp teeth in their mouth, which is perfect for gnawing on all of the bunny pelts as well as the meat that was provided inside of those bunny pelts. So you can see as they're picking them up, they're kind of shredding them apart. They don't do as much chewing as they do shredding with those super sharp teeth. A mama wolf in the wild will actually regurgitate her eaten meat for her pups back in her den, since they don't have as many teeth yet, so they can't do all of that shredding.
And if you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the comments.
Morgan, do you have any questions about this enrichment? You're wondering where we got the bunny pelts. Okay, so we actually purchased rabbit for a lot of the diets for a lot of our carnivores, including our 2 birds of prey, the great horned owl and our bald eagle. And in order to make sure that they have the right amount of their diet, we actually pull the pelt off, and we'll always use that pelt for enrichment. So these guys got it saved for them today, and we just kind of stripped it up. So these are 3 different rabbits that we were able to dole out between all of the carnivores that get rabbit in their diet.
How much do the wolves weigh?
Oh, that's a great question. These 4 wolves actually weigh between 80 to 100, just over 100, but wolves can actually, they're feast or famine animals, so they will, sorry, Lothario's being a really good wolf right now. So they can actually gorge themselves on a prey that they catch, and one wolf was noted to have 40 pounds of meat in his stomach when he was found.
That's a lot of meat.
You know?
That's like half of me.
Well, you are small, aren't you? So yeah, it looks like they're using those nice carnasials and molars to chew on these. Lothario's doing a nice sawing motion to cut it up. So is Deshka right here. So when you see that nice little hang, I don't know if that makes sense, the noise without the movement. hang, you know that move? It's that's what it sounds like when a wolf saws through pelt.
What kind of wolves are they?
They're gray wolves. So gray wolves are what we have native here to Alaska. We have a really robust population here within the state. We predict there's about 9,000 gray wolves across Alaska. These wolves are also native to large portions of Canada as well as the lower 48 of the United States.
And where did these wolves come from in particular?
Yeah, that's a great question. So both of our males come to us from Oregon, and both of the females from Montana. They were bred in a more captive environment to be ambassador animals for their species. Since wolves are an animal that is really, really important to have in their natural ecosystems, it's great to have them as ambassador animals so people are able to learn about the impacts that they have on their ecosystems.
Natalie, did you know that wolf groups are less frequently called wolf packs anymore?
I did hear that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you know why?
Yeah, because most wolf packs are going to be comprised of families. Is that why?
Yes, yeah. They've got a very similar-ish social structure to actually my own family, where I have my parents and then I have my siblings. And I was definitely the youngest sister, so I kind of broke up the arguments in my older sisters. But they also helped raise me.
Mm-hmm.
And so our wolf family groups typically are comprised of 2 breeding adults, so a male and a female, and then they teach and they raise all of their wolf pups, and then you'll have occasionally some smatterings of other wolves that join the family groups, just like, I guess you're married, right?
I am married, yeah.
So your husband's part of your immediate family group.
Yeah. About what age would you say a wolf would leave its family pack to start its own family pack?
I actually don't know. Do you know?
I think that I would assume probably around like 3 to 5 years old, but I'm not completely sure. They don't have the longest of lifespans in the wild. They only lived about 5 to 7 years old.
Yeah.
So they would probably need to leave by about 3 years old to be able to have their own pups.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I've learned a lot about wolves living up here in Alaska. We've got some really cool family groups up here in the wild in Alaska, and they're really well studied by some very dedicated biologists. And a lot of them have actually acknowledged there's some really unique hunting structures to some of the family groups up here that are only with that family group, and it gets passed down to generation after generation.
That's fascinating.
Do these wolves howl?
They do howl, so it's pretty common to hear them howling during our twilight hours. Oftentimes, if any of us arrive at the center when the sun is still set, we might hear them howling. They also will howl at loud noises such as trains or emergency vehicles going by.
Yeah, I've heard there's still a lot of research going on with the reason and the way wolves will vocalize. But some people surmise that wolves will howl for about 3 different reasons, give or take. That's still getting researched, but one is for family socialization, so just like how my family would sing on road trips. I don't know if everybody in the car appreciated it, but I sure had fun with it. They'll call back wolves, so if they send somebody on a territory run, they'll be like, hey, you need to come back to babysit these pups over here. So they'll howl to recall them, and they'll also howl for territory reasons. So I think when the train is running by and it does that nice little whoo, I think their response to that is a territory, because they definitely do it when our coyotes start howling as well.
Yeah.
Are gray wolves on the endangered species list?
It depends on the state that you are living in. So in the state of Alaska, they are not an endangered animal. However, there are some states where they are listed as endangered or even extinct. So some states have robust populations where they are not considered extinct or endangered, so it really depends on the location. But their population ranges have decreased over the years. There have been many efforts, especially in the lower 48, of reintroducing wolf populations to have them restored to their native ranges. A great example of that is Yellowstone National Park, who introduced wolves in 1995, and they are still there today, but in the state of Montana, they are not considered an endangered animal.
Good job, Lothario. So that's another really important communication right there. You see these really lovely long noses on the wolves. They've got a very strong sense of smell, and they'll utilize their urine and their feces to mark their territory. And if you zoom in right here, you'll see there's a nice little poops along this territory line right here that got rained on and melted down. So any stranger coming to their territory will smell that, and they'll be like, oh, this is somebody's fence line here, somebody's home, so I better proceed with caution. So Lothario just urinated on that ball over there, either as like a little bulletin marker, like, hey, Lothario was here. So that's one reason, if anybody has a moment to look at trail cams online, you'll always see somebody scent marking on those very common trail markers. So that's just like your community bulletin board saying, hey, a lynx was here. Yes. Is that what you use to mark your territory?
I have personally not done that.
That's
but
probably
maybe I'll
wise.
keep that in mind.
You have fingers, you can do a sign.
Yeah,
I
I'll
guess.
probably just write my name next
That's
time.
fair.
Alright, well, it looks like our wolves are starting to get a little bit tired of that after that enrichment they were given, and they're doing quite a bit of territory marking, so we'll let them have the rest of their day to kind of explore and enjoy their little habitat, and we'll let Angelica and Ash get back to taking care of the rest of the animals we have here at AWCC.
Oh, a raven stole a piece of rabbit for you, and it just landed in your hood.
Yay!
That's so nice. Well, cool. Well, thanks for meeting up, Natalie and Morgan.
Thank you for
your help, Ashley.
Thank y'all for joining us virtually at AWCC. If you have any additional questions while you're watching the feedback, please feel free to leave them in the comments and we'll answer them as we have time. See you next time.